Spirit and Opportunity were robotic field geologists. Geology it's a forensic science. A geologist is like a detective at the scene of a crime. Something happened at this place on Mars billions of years ago. What was it? What was it like there back then?
Well, this is a hard day, and this is hard for me because I was there at the beginning, and I remember during the early days of development when we were trying to finish up the construction of the rovers in the clean room just a few feet away from here, that we were working 3 shifts. And the engineering team was working the first 2 shifts, and they had one person who would keep a skeleton shift for the rovers from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. And I volunteered to take many of those shifts, typically on the weekend when it was hard to find someone. And it was very meaningful and very touching because it was just me with the 2 rovers. And the rovers were in the clean room like it was a neonatal care facility. And they had all the life support equipment, and you would watch their vital signs, and you would see their heart rates, and you would see the voltages and temperatures and currents, and they would be living, and you would see them awake and sleep. And so during those times when it was just me, you develop a special bond, and they become your children. And that theme, I think, is true for so many people here tonight, or today, that they have that strong connection. So even though it's a machine, and we're saying goodbye, it's still very hard and very poignant.
Green board here in the Mission Director Center. Time underway. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, main engine start, 0, and liftoff of the Delta rocket with Opportunity. A chance to explore and unlock the secrets of our neighboring planet.
The transients at liftoff. Engine position looks good. Recovering nicely from the liftoff transients, and the solid rocket motors are increasing their thrust during their 75-second burn. Main engine chamber pressure is holding steady, and the vernier engines are continuing to burn well. And we're now past Mach 1. The vehicle is now traveling faster than the speed of sound. So we now are entering the max Q portion of our flight, where the vehicle encounters the greatest aerodynamic forces.
Jupiter Inlet Station now has signal.
Main engine continues to burn well. Solids are tapering off their thrust. Approximately 20 more seconds left of the burning of the first ground-lit solid rocket motors. Engine positions continue to look nominal. Vehicle's tracking right down the center of the range tracking. Here we have burnout of the solid rocket motors on the ground lit, and we have air starts of all 3 solid rocket motors and separation of the 6 ground lit solid rockets.
The voice of Ted Jones in the telemetry lab.
Main engine continues to burn well. Vernier engines continue to burn. And the 3 air-lit solids are continuing to burn symmetrically with equal amounts of thrust. T plus 116 seconds. Pass through T plus 130 seconds. Altitude is 25 miles. Downrange distance 65 miles, and our velocity is 5,200 miles per hour.
2 minutes, 10 seconds into the mission.
We have the LOX tank press event, and we do see a slow rise in the liquid oxygen tank pressure, as expected. Flight controls are really smooth now as we move in the upper atmosphere. Engine continues to burn smoothly, constant chamber pressure. The air-lit solids have burned out and separated. We have separation of the air-lit solids.
Green board, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, engine start, and liftoff of the Delta II rocket carrying the Spirit from Earth to planet Mars.
Load relief kick rate is in. Vehicles responding. Vehicles recovering very nicely from the liftoff transient. T-plus 20 seconds. Normal for this phase of the flight. We're approaching Mach 1. And there we go. We've exceeded the supersonic speed, and the engine positions look good.
Floating down through the clouds, memories come rushing up to meet me now. But in the space between the heavens and the corner of some foreign field, I had a dream. I had a dream. Goodbye, Max. Goodbye, Ma. After the service, when you're walking slowly to the car, and the silver in her hair shines in the cold November air, you hear the tolling bell and touch the silk in your lapel. And as the teardrops rise to meet the comfort of the band,
Spacecraft before you lander is separated. We expect it will radar will lock on the ground in approximately 5 seconds from now. Current altitude 8,000 feet.
you take her
Moving at a speed of
for
173
your
miles per hour.
hand.
We are near our terminal velocity. We expect an airbag.
And hold on to the dream.
We are now expected landing time. First landing time plus minus 30 seconds. So latest expected landing is expected 3 seconds
place
from now.
to stay.
So roughly any signal that we receive now.
Enough to
the vehicle would be
eat.
alive on the ground and bouncing.
Somewhere old heroes shuffle safely down the street, where you can speak out loud about your doubts and fears. And what's more, no one ever disappears. You never hear the standard issue kicking in your door. You can
We got 6
relax
signs of bouncing on the surface.
on both sides of suspects and maniacs.
It's possible.
Hold that. We have positive
We
signs
got
that
a
we
green
are
one.
bouncing on the surface. Strength of signal indicates we are bouncing on the surface of Mars. This is a very good sign.
Hang on, everybody. Please be quiet.
Stand by. Signal strength is...
Night after night, going round and round my brain. This dream is driving me insane. In the corner of some foreign field, the gunner sleeps tonight.
Remember that bouncing and rolling is an event that could occur for another 10 minutes. The spacecraft has to survive all the bounces for landing to be a success.
We cannot just write off his final scene. Take heed of the dream.
In the head when he was 25. Speed jive, don't wanna stay alive when you're 25. And when you're stealing clothes from Marks and Sparks, and Freddy's got spots from ripping up the stars from his face, funky little boat race. The television man is crazy, Sam with juvenile delinquent Rex. Oh man, I need TV when I got T-Rex. Oh brother, you get, I'm a good man. The young dude, hey dude, carry the news. Where are you? Stand up, carry the news. Oh the young dude, I wanna hear you. Carry the news. I wanna see you. I wanna talk to you. All of you. Now, Lucy looking sweet 'cause he dresses like a queen, but he can kick like a mule. It's a real mean team, but we can love. Oh yes, we can love.
Radar should be active.
Heat shield separation,
Cell detected. We have confirmation from the spacecraft that the flight software has attempted to jettison the heat shield. That is expected for an altitude of 15,000 feet. Current velocity 185 miles per hour.
The lander separation event has been detected.
Radar should lock on the ground approximately 15 seconds from now for an altitude of 11,000 feet. Current velocity 180 miles per hour. This time, passing 8,000 feet from now. Expected radar should have locked up on the ground by now. 4,000 feet.
Radar solution matrix 21.
3,000 feet. The radar has a positive lock on the ground. We have a retro rocket firing solution. Retro rocket ignition on my mark. This time the retro rocket
has fired.
We have confirmation. Excited. We are now awaiting confirmation of positive signals bouncing on the ground. This time we are 5 minutes and 55 seconds after entry. Bouncing on the ground.
Getting a bouncing signal.
Getting confirmation of spacecraft bouncing and alive on Mars.
We're seeing it on the LTC.
We have a very strong signal in the left-hand polarization channel indicating that we still have the same radio signal.
I want it right here. Bring it, come on. Bring it. Here you go. I wanted to do this for years. There you go. How do you feel?
That I try very hard to do, and when I talk to my teammates, I tell them the same thing: is don't ever, ever, ever get to the point where you take this for granted. We have been given the opportunity by a team of engineers 15 years ago who built just two of the most extraordinary pieces of space exploration hardware ever conceived and built. We were given an incredible, sort of unprecedented opportunity. You only get to do something like this for the first time once.
Yeah, the rovers changed fundamentally kind of our paradigm for exploration for Mars. So before Spirit and Opportunity, the mantra was follow the water. We were really interested in finding evidence that there was once liquid water on the surface of Mars. We thought there had been based on our orbital data, but we hadn't proven it. We can't prove it until you actually can get down and get your nose in the dirt. So with those rovers, we proved that. And now we've been able to move beyond that. So now instead of just following the water, what we're doing is we're trying to understand what was the chemistry of the water? How long did that water persist? Was that water something that could have given rise to life? Why did the environment change so much on Mars that we once had liquid water and we don't anymore?
This mission accomplished so much more than we wanted to. It's mind-boggling to me. I mean, if you had told me around the time we landed that Spirit and Opportunity were going to each accomplish 1/4 or 1/10 of what they ultimately did, I would have been thrilled.
Remember at the time, back in the early 2000s, we didn't know for sure whether Mars had significant water standing out on the surface in its ancient past. Spirit and Opportunity helped us prove that.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Main engine start. 0. And liftoff of the Atlas V Curiosity. Seeking clue. Planetary conflict.
And we throttle down to hold a constant 2.5 G level.
On Mars, as we speak, the Opportunity rover is fighting for survival in the deepest, darkest dust storm in Martian history.
Saying goodbye and celebrating a job well done, NASA's Opportunity rover, now officially dead on the surface of Mars.
We sent over 1,000 recovery commands, trying to exercise every possibility of getting a signal from the rover. We set our final commands, and we heard nothing, and so it comes time to say goodbye. But we want to remember the 14 and a half years of phenomenal exploration.
This is a celebration of so many achievements. And I'll just start by saying, you know, when this little rover landed, the objective was to have it be able to move 1,100 yards and survive for 90 days on Mars, 90 sols. And instead, here we are 14 years later, after 28 miles of travel, and today we get to celebrate the end of this mission.
But 14 and a half years later and 45 kilometers of odometry, we've done phenomenal things. We've greatly expanded our understanding of the red planet. So, you know, why did these rovers last so long? Why did Opportunity last so long? Well, there are two main technical reasons. One is that we had expected that dust falling out of the air would accumulate on the solar rays and eventually choke off power after about 90 days. But what we didn't expect is that wind would come along periodically and blow the dust off the arrays. And this, on a seasonal cycle, actually became pretty reliable.
14, MER Project Manager.
14.
I wanted to say with the completion of tonight's commanding, this concludes operations for MER 1, spacecraft ID 253. And on behalf of the entire MER project, we'd like to thank the DSN for over 15 and a half years of outstanding support from launch until tonight. That support is one of the reasons why this mission has been so successful. And once again, the DSN has helped us to make history. Thank you.
And this is Station 14 on behalf of the network. Thank you for your comments, and it's a sad day for all of us.
14, you are released.
And 14 copies.
MER Project off the net.
T-minus 15 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 0. Liftoff of the Atlas V, launching the first interplanetary mission on the West Coast, and NASA's InSight, the first outer space robotic explorer to study the interior of Mars.